Hello, and welcome to On the Screen, the video cast revolving around video games and occasionally other things on the screen. And I decided to not be lazy this time, and I have the wheel out and a nice little light on it, as well as a mess directly behind it all. So, first let's introduce the peoples that we've got here. We've got our mainstays, which would be, in order of appearance on the list, we've got the Geek Scorpio.
Hello, everybody. Geek Scorpio here.
We've got Yield Man.
Ye old man. Hi.
Makes me think of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah.
And then we've got Zombie Hand.
Hello.
And for the Veal, we have Spin Again, which is going to be video game IPs in other media, such as movies, comics, books, and so on. The PlayStation 1 icon will be games that you can literally only play for 1 year, and which one would it be and why? As in, it is the only thing you play for that year.
You get one.
Yeah, everybody gets one. Then there's the Dreamcast, which would be our favorite spin-off games. The PS2 will be sporting the pros and cons of crowdfunded games. The GameCube will represent our favorite video game soundtracks. And the Xbox will be games with great story and awful mechanics, or vice versa. Which, I mean, yeah, I can put up with some terrible gameplay if the story is worth it.
I can put up with terrible story if the gameplay is worth it.
I was going to say, but the other way is much easier to put up with. So let's give that wheel a spin.
Woo!
Come on, Xbox. No. Oh, it stopped already.
It did.
Never.
Yeah, cold too.
We got PS1, and that is going to be the where to go? We have 1 year and one game.
Oh man.
And it's not a game series, right?
No, it is a singular title, which makes it way more difficult.
Damn. Okay.
A singular title, you say?
A singular title.
Hmm.
Okay, well, dang. My problem is I actually have a short list of that. So I've got
That doesn't sound like a problem, Leo.
yeah. I might to some people
it
it is.
needs a very large list.
Yeah, like I know exactly which ones I would do, but do I want to? Do I dare go to my standard go-to or go a little offbeat on this one? I have choices and options.
Whatever you'd prefer.
I guess we should probably break it down in, is this going to be something where we include the factors of the internet?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Like if especially for like MOBAs and such, which are designed to keep challenging and such.
Or if
Cool,
it's an
would you play
online game like an MMO, are we going to be allowed to include those? Or if it's a battle royale game that we play regularly already, it's like, is the internet a factor in this?
We sure didn't come up with the with the good caveats here.
I say one and the other. Like I think the way that because if it's oh, that's gonna be rough.
I'll just go to Chicho on this because he's actually the one that wrote this topic up.
Mm-hmm.
So
because I've got one for each, so I'm good either way.
How were you envisioning it when you came up with it?
Really? I figured the less restraints, the better. Just it's kind of like what you see is what you get. So like no caveats, just one game.
Oh,
play it for a year. And the reason why I did that is because it's kind of weird. I remember a thing back in middle school, vaguely. I had a history teacher talking about the Constitution and how there's different people that were like, we can only do what the Constitution says we can do. And then there's other people that say, we can do everything as long as it's not prohibited in the Constitution. So you have like two different camps. So in that sense, with
Okay.
this, rather than
Okay.
saying online games or offline games or games that change over time, it's like, look, just make it super simple. I don't really care if it's online or not. Just pick one game, play it for a whole year. What would it be and why?
Okay.
Oh, got it.
Then
Um,
I've got one too. So let's just work down the list. Let's start with
Yeah.
you,
You
Mr. Geek
as
Scorpio.
in there we go.
okay, we'll start with you. Pick one guy. That guy in the crowd there.
Yeah, to Brandon's left.
Well, actually, it's the other screen is to my right, but
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, to Brandon's left. I'm not correcting him. So since the caveat is basically whatever's on this one, and because I've done this once before, foolishly, I would have to go with my good old standard of XCOM 2.
okay.
And the reason why I would go with that is due to. So I'm already a huge fan of the XCOM series, but XCOM 2, I always found this the perfect balance of it. Specifically, the XCOM 2 with the DLC, but all the DLCs and add-ons that you can get for it make it just improve the game greatly. They just are always they're big add-ons for it. But probably my favorite part is in because I have it for Steam specifically, but that's because Steam has a workshop for it. So there is a ton of different
Limitless
content that's added to it.
Mhm.
And Zombie Head knows that I've done this before. Essentially, I downloaded as much content for it that I could go with, and with this, I want to see if I can get some screenshots from the workshop itself for you.
The surprised sort of that Tomato Man has would go away if you could see the 1,500 hours that Geek Scorpio has put into XCOM 2.
Hey, that's
It's a good thing.
for this one instance. It's a
I'm
good
not
thing.
poking fun.
Like I have
Oh,
nothing
wow.
against it because user created content is by no means a bad thing.
No,
So
no, especially for the way XCOM 2 does it because of what their workshop was. But mostly it's because each add-on just adds on to make things more and more. There's a certain series of add-ons that was placed into that a lot of people have been designing. Some of them are simple, like not simple, but are say designed to make to add different voices and voice content for it. But the ones that I actually really like are the ones that add things to make a bigger challenge into the game itself. So, for example, I'm trying to go through all these things on it. Let's see here if I can get the image for this. Nope, I can copy the link, but not the image. That's awesome. Let's see if this will work. So, like this, there's a creature in the War of the Chosen DLC that's called the Spectre, and this one is the Spectre revamped to make it slightly more difficult for you.
okay, so it's basically a challenge mod.
Right, but there's others to that. For example, they're literally adding in new aliens and new things that you can fight against, and those new things that you can fight against have different things that are with them that are more challenging than themselves and have their own science and research built around it, so you can upgrade your characters because you have that. You manage to defeat them and do the same research and do the same thing with it. And for those who haven't actually played much of XCOM 2, like for example, there's this thing, the
Ugh.
Berserker.
No.
That's the Berserker taken up to the 10th to 11 on that.
Ugh. Dude, I don't like the Berserkers in the first one even.
They're mean.
Yeah.
First they hurt your feelings, and then later they hurt you physically.
Not always in that order.
Yep. Oh, they're making me cry. Or different variations for these creatures, such as this one, for example, is I only copied that side, not the image in the content in the thing. Oh, so for example, there's it's a modification on some of the enemies that have like poison effects now. However, if you kill them and you manage to do the research on them, now you have weapons that can do poison effects and so on and so forth. So it
Okay.
just actually makes the gameplay extend itself further and further out. Um, and the only types of mods I don't get for this, for XCOM 2 specifically, are ones that are one-sided. As in, they super
go.
benefit the player, but they don't benefit. But that's it. They're just there to benefit the player in making the game like tactically easier, which is kind of sort of, and this is just for me being a big fan of tactical strategies like this game for XCOM 2. You kind of go to XCOM 2 knowing you're going to get your teeth kicked in. That's the point.
Yeah, it's
Start
a
up.
very, very challenging turn-based strategy game that has permadeath features that you can either opt in or out of.
Hmm.
Like
And
I played quite a bit of the first one and I really enjoyed it, so I got the second one. I just haven't gotten around to it.
the second one is easier to handle. The second one, in my opinion, is the best of the series because it's easier to handle, but it's also way harder than the way more difficult than all the other ones combined as well.
Like
So
the
you get both.
souls of strategy games.
Yeah, somehow they managed to get the perfect fit of easy to understand, difficult to fight, but if you lose, you just feel like it's a good strategy game will make it you lose. If you lose, you think it's your strategy that went wrong, not the game's just being unfair.
Mhm.
Although in XCOM 2, the game's being unfair is kind of you knew what you were getting into when you signed up for this.
Yeah, like a 90% chance to hit and you miss 4 times in a row. Because that's
Love
fair.
that.
Because that's fair.
That's called
But
game balance.
yeah. But for me, because they can add on so many of these things, the workshop has been just still getting worked on with more and more things on it. I mean, I could go through this add-on stuff to the workshop all day,
Yeah.
and at least twice have just decided to just redo the entire game from scratch again, just because I wanted to have everything play out the way it was meant to with all the updates.
Yeah, just
So
try
yeah.
it with all the new little gaskets and screws.
Hmm. And things on that. I think at this point, I got to a point where, what is it? I've managed to like not have just the aliens, but like human incurgents, betrayers, all these other things that are on that list of stuff that want to fight me for XCOM. But yeah, so XCOM 2, because I can stack the game against me, and that is still fun to me.
And you've got the limitless content of the Steam Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest, I did not anticipate the workshop as a factor. So like, it's totally legitimate, but like, I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know the Steam Workshop had any content for XCOM 2. I mean, granted, I don't go through the workshop that often, but like, just you don't think about it until it's in front of you, really. So I might have to go through that myself.
Yeah. But I have like, and some of them are just there for funsies, like this. It's just having Sherry Birkin as a character. Why not? Just toss her in there.
I can tell you right now why not, because she's not the most interesting character. Actually, she is probably the most interesting character in that particular game. I'm not gonna lie, but not in the series.
But yeah, the customization of the workshop and basically adding on more and more content makes it that I keep going back to that.
Gosh, that makes so many like games on Steam in general have way more replayability and way more options for this particular topic.
I asked. I needed to know that which way we were going with this because that was important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you picked a winner there. Jeez.
So
Well,
yeah, XCOM.
Yeah, XCOM 2, definitely a worthy choice if you're playing it at least on PC.
Yeah.
Do we want to keep going down in line, or do we want to skip to someone else?
Well, is your line the same as my line?
I
Should
don't know.
be.
What's your line?
Okay. Like, actually, I've never stopped to think about that. Are we all in order? Yeah, I guess it is in
It should be in
descending
order if
order
you
from like
joined
who
this.
gets in the.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's an alphabetical.
Oh.
Oh, well, Snap
Uh,
Dizzle, yeah, that. Yep.
Let's take that for a test toast at this point.
We're all just like, zombie hands, like, guys, it's alphabet.
Use the.
It's
reason
all.
to
I
get
only
gray
know it
matter.
because, in a different Discord chat for a bigger event, I paid attention and was like, "Oh, it's all in alphabetical order."
I'm gonna figure out how to fix that. No. Well, if that's the case, then who wants to go next?
Tomato Man 7.
He does. That's fair.
That's what I heard.
Word on the street, you know.
I mean, if you heard it on the internet, it must be true. Oh. No. That should go away forever. No dabs allowed here.
Yeah, XCOM 2, once you have the War of the Chosen pack, allows you to take propaganda photos, so they let you create photos for your characters and such. It's super fun. But
Alright.
the workshop lets me have new poses. Dab.
No. You need to burn that as soon as possible. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and go then, since everyone seems to think it's my turn. I'm going to pick one that is fairly, I think, clear-cut. He says...
As he can't find it.
No, I just wanted to get a picture ready for it. So...
Oh, I should have done that with mine, but I didn't. I just hopped on in.
Hey, it's all good. I'm going to go with Final Fantasy XIV.
Ooh, the MOBA.
No,
Well, not
that's not a MOBA.
That's a MMO.
It's an MMO.
Oh.
This is
no.
an MMO. Why am I getting those two words confused?
You've been pretty hooked on the word MOBA this evening.
MMO.
MOBA.
MMO.
Anonymous.
All right.
So
So the MMO RPG.
yes. For
Oh
one,
shit!
there
Oh,
is
God.
3 expansions currently available on top of the base game, plus a 4th one that just got announced the other day. And I'm looking forward to that. So is my wife. We've actually been playing this for a couple of years now, and I am picking this one simply because there is virtually, I mean, it's not like Steam where it's got a literal never-ending marketplace or workshop, but there is an awful lot that you can do. Even once you finish all the main campaign, you have a very large list of different job classes here, ranging from standard warriors and fighters to mages and even farmers and crafters. And they all have their own quest lines, all have their own side quests that can be done in all different regions. There's just so much to do, and you can do all of this with a single character. But then you can also make another character of a different race, different gender, different starting everything, and just go at it again and make different choices, do things in different orders. There's so much that can be done here. Plus, I already sink a bunch of time into this game as it is. I think my my last year's PlayStation breakdown was like 600 hours in this game.
Oh yeah, isn't FF14 also like cross-platform?
Yes, you can play with people on PS4 or on PC.
Nice.
And it's also cross-server. So when you go into dungeons and stuff, it doesn't just pull from the server your character's on. They will actually pull from every server. So like, oh, I may be on the Marlboro server, but then I can be playing with someone on Coral or on the Balmung server, that kind of stuff.
Oh, so you can always have a party with your friendos, even if their friendos are in a different server?
I believe that's possible, but I don't remember much on it because I literally made it a point for my wife and I to be on the same server. So we can
I
literally wander like with each other throughout the world.
I get it. Like in theory, that's a thing. In theory.
Yeah, because like it'll tell you the name of the person, their clan or guild they're in, and then it'll also tell you after all of that the server they're actually a part of. So, and plus the key art to this game is amazing.
You do like your art.
Art is a pinnacle part of Final Fantasy. As in, they design all of the characters before they let Yoshitaka Amano do his art, because if they did it the other way around, everyone would be blonde.
There's no lie there.
Yeah.
They'd all be scrawny blondes. But
Yeah, and like I remember Renoa being a blonde in the Amano art.
yeah.
Dude, what?
Oh,
I'll find
yeah,
it.
So
yeah, that art I remember.
Barrett it has never been so white as the Amano art for 7. Now I'm gonna find that. Just to show you, Chicho. Let's see.
Dude.
That's supposed to be Renoa?
Yep, that's Amano's Renoa art.
That's disgusting. He's wrong. Let's see.
Yep.
And in fact,
here's Sarah from FF6, which
I
I
mean,
believe.
that one I think could be a little bit construed for like her brunette.
Well, her hair's supposed to be green, so
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but in everything that's not
Yeah.
in everything that's not Final Fantasy VI, she has brunette hair.
Yeah.
And then in some things, she has the option for green hair.
So here's the FF7 Amano art. I don't have the box over here right now, but I actually have a.
For some reason, they made him look like a summon. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally.
They
see
did.
It. So he actually is very reminiscent in this art as the general.
Billy Idol?
No, the general from Final Fantasy VI.
General Leo?
Yes.
General Leo.
Yes. That's the... Yeah, thank you for the Downey Jr. there. But yeah, the Amano art is just so bizarre for this. But I have a NES demake of Final Fantasy VII that uses this artwork as the box art and cartridge art. So
the artwork's fantastic. He's just sort of
yeah, it's just
whitewash.
Yeah, Barrett is very whited out.
Mm-hmm.
I love Red 13 on this because this is very clear that he's a cat. And not the ambiguous dog thing that they seem to have made him out to be, which that's even a joke in the remake.
He's a cat.
Yeah, he's a very big kitty. Lab rat dog. Speaking of, Chicho, how much further have you gotten in that game? Yeah, that's what I thought.
he has children's.
Yeah, he's got
honestly, it was one of those things. It's gonna sound horrible. We were playing it consistently, and like I would play until my wife fell asleep, and then be like, okay, I'd save my game, and then I just pick it up the next night. But we disconnected the PS4 and moved everything out of our room so I could shampoo the carpets, and we just didn't. We didn't hook it back up.
That just sounds like me. I've done laundry in my bedroom, and I still have laundry in my bedroom. Not even my bedroom; it's in my game room. So, like,
I love Front Mission Gun Hazard. I don't own a repro of this game yet, but I plan to. And I love the goofy-looking bastard in the far back right there.
one of these things is not like the other, and one of these things doesn't belong.
Yeah, and they happen to be the same thing. And
Do
it
you know
would
what
be
that guy reminds me of, Brandon? Tomato Man?
who? 'Cause I'll
Mi-
probably
Well,
agree.
nobody else will know. Like, for some reason, I'm getting like a Mr. Rothenberger vibe.
Yeah, I can see
Do you
that.
remember? Yeah.
I immediately just think of the Groucho Marx glasses. So it's just what I see.
I can't unsee that now.
So now,
Oh. So anyway, FF14.
Yeah.
yeah, you can't be Groucho Marx, but you can get a pompadour. Which don't do that. But there's all kinds of equipment and nods and classes to all kinds of different things. The Dark Knight class is very obviously a mix of Cecil from Final Fantasy IV and Cloud from 7, because he's got a lot of skills that are very, well, Cecil. I mean, they straight up have the dark attack that they took out of the American version as one of the skills you use, but then also the victory pose is Cloud's Final Fantasy VII sword swing, that kind of thing. So like all the classes have nice little homages to the older games, and so do the characters. There's a character in Final Fantasy III named Kryl. There's a character named Kryl in 14 who I believe is present in the first expansion. I don't remember if she's even in the base game. It's been so long. But there's everything is just about celebrating the franchise in its entirety, whether it be from appearances to skills to missions. There's just a lot of stuff to find and do and craft in this game. Plus, there's a community. I mean, you'll never be alone. There are people that roleplay in this game in the open chat servers, which is neat. So.
Ooh.
And then there's the Lollipop Guild, which is just a group of Lollifels wandering around.
Okay then.
Let's see if I can find. Here we go. This is a great one. This is a great picture for this.
Does this picture represent the Lollipop Guild?
Yes,
The Lollipop Guild?
these are Lollifels. They are a race of tiny people. They walk like they don't have knees. So, like, Hank Hill's father, basically.
Oh my gosh.
He has knees, he has no shins.
Oh, yeah, so his knee is just his ankle.
Yep.
Ew!
Bless you.
He done killed 50 men.
I didn't kill 50 man.
So,
Boom. More.
Well, so we know those two picks now. XCOM 2 for me and Final Fantasy 14 for the Tomato Man. What's up? So who's next on the hit list?
That
The
would
hit
have to
list?
be. It's, well, jeez, we're not.
did somebody say hit list?
Hey, we're knocking these games out one by one. You let me know what fits.
Oh man.
Don't say that word in front of the hitman. You'll freak him out.
Agent 47. All right, so we're up.
Every time you say the word hit,
I
you
love
just
that guy.
start hearing Ave Maria playing in the background.
Oh my god. Can we
Uh-oh.
just not talk about how that is incredibly overused? That's not like his theme or motif or anything. It's literally just a song that played during a really cool part in the series, and everyone's run away with it, and the movies can't stop talking about it. Like, settle down, thank you.
I touched a nerve. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Because you've
A very weird one.
this.
Very weird nerve. There it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can move on from it.
Yeah. So next up would be the Yield Man, the
Yes.
proprietor of this topic, even.
So I gotta say, going into this, I had a selection, and then Geek Scorpio gave his game and his reasons for it, and that just kind of flipped my whole world upside down. So now I'm like, oh man.
Look, I've got 1,600 hours listed on that game, so
You know what?
when it's playing for a year, I can do it. I can do it.
Now I'm gonna look.
So if I was to go the same route, well, okay. First of all, I was going to go with Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild because I love that.
You've put a lot of hours into that.
Mhm.
The thing is it's offline. So if I had to pick an offline game, I would just go with that. But then I heard Geek Scorpio, and I was like, oh man, workshops, and then like stuff that you can do, and it's constantly changing. I would almost say Tabletop Simulator, but I know that's cheating because it's just like a sandbox, like a physics engine, and you can pretty much just put any board game or card game in there. So really, it's a multitude of games. So
It's not one game; it's 16,000 games.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a cop out for that one.
It really does. So I'm gonna go
That'd
ahead.
be
and
like
just
me
stick with my-
saying. It'd be like me saying Steam is my choice.
Oh, that's like,
Pretty
yeah,
much.
that is cheating.
I
That's
choose
cheating.
my computer.
I choose Steam.
I mean, to be fair, Tabletop Simulator is an application on Steam, but I think it's more appropriate to say it's an application, not a game itself. It's
But
a medium
yeah.
for
Steam
playing
itself
other
is an
games.
application, so
So,
one could
yeah.
argue.
We're getting a little meta though, because like, what if I want to play a game that has games within it,
Like Gmod
Oh,
and such?
or
Uncharted 4.
like
the-
GTA, and then there's like an arcade cabinet in a bar. Like, can you play that game because you're playing Grand Theft Auto?
if it's within the
You're
code
still-
of the Prime choice, I'd say yeah. So even
Yeah.
if you loaded up Yakuza and just went into the Sega arcade and it's like, I'm gonna play some Space Harrier, now I'm gonna go play some Virtua Fighter.
I guess that's
Yeah.
fair, because that'd be like saying I want to play Legend of Zelda, but then I can't play any of the mini games. So yeah, I'm still gonna stick with Breath of the Wild because I love it. It's awesome, and I would love to play through it again on my surround sound system and just get lost in the story.
Yeah, that game has a lot of good to it that I enjoy too, but I've always had trouble getting into Zelda games.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love how different it is from like the rest of the series. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are still the same, but I don't know, the open world part of it I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would, and I love the art style, and I know there's not like a whole lot of narration like cutscenes and stuff like that, but I love the voice acting in it. And, yeah, that would be my pick.
Ooh, that's a good one though.
It
I like
really
it.
is. I mean, the art in that game is just drop dead gorgeous. I mean, nobody in their right mind is going to contest that.
Not to mention, which is a weird way of saying I'm going to bring it up, the 4K mod of Breath of the Wild is really nice.
So, I'm just curious if you've even looked into this or not. There's actually a spot in the game. I don't know if they've patched it out or not, but like at the edge of a wall, I don't know where it is, but there's a spot where when you stand in the shadow of this little corner of a wall, it actually removes the cell shading,
What?
and it's only where it's cast over you. So like half of, like, if you angle it right, you can get it to where half of Link's face is cell shaded and the other half is just like a hyper HD version of Twilight Princess. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
I've seen a video of it. I don't remember how it was described, but it was a really neat little thing. I will say though, in that game too, a big part of what I really enjoyed about it was the bombs. I just loved letting a bomb roll downhill and then blow things up. There's something just like,
Yeah, using the environment to your advantage and like the physics is a big thing. There's some crazy stuff out there. I can't remember the name of the channel, but there's a guy who like basically just is only uploading Zelda content, and it's like figuring out ways to launch yourself across the map by like using stasis, and then shoot, what's the other one where you can manipulate metallic objects?
oh, the magnesis or whatever it was.
Magnesis. Which X-Men is that?
Yeah, right?
But yeah, stuff like that where it's like, oh, I'm going to stand on this metal object and I can actually make it fly me around like as if I'm using it like a hot air balloon. Or
Yeah.
like you can use it for transportation rather than just like throwing it at an enemy.
It's like
So.
they made their own physics engine and decided, let's just put Link in here and see what happens. And I mean, it's awesome. People have done some really creative things. I love seeing the stasis thing and then people playing with inertia. So like they'll put stasis on like a boulder and then slap the ever-loving hell out of the boulder and then hop on and grab the boulder and just go for one hell of a fly.
Yeah. and just playing the game like normal, like you can do that stuff and it's kind of fun, but you don't necessarily have to get that creative to get through the game. But when you play master mode, it's like, oh, enemies regenerate health if I don't like continue to do damage to them, and like your weapons break twice as fast. It's like, oh man, well now I really do need to find creative ways of using my Sheikah Slate to use these special moves that I have to utilize the environment around me, so that way I'm not just breaking all of my equipment in with one fight, one encounter.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, there's a thing to making a game slightly more difficult for you, but it turns out to make it a lot better or funner. A lot of people do that for like what is it, Fallout New Vegas, when they added the survival mode to it.
Didn't you go through that one? Like, oh no, that was realism mode for New Vegas.
Me?
Yeah, I thought you went through all like where you had to eat and drink and all that and sleep where you die. I thought you played through the whole game that way.
I think I made it pretty far, but I don't think I actually beat it that way.
Fair enough.
I'm weak.
But it is fun to
Yeah.
do it. Like I haven't played New Vegas in a long time, but when I went back to it, I turned on that realism mode. It just made it like way better. But no, I get it. So adding a challenge for it, that makes it funner.
The one thing I really didn't like about Breath of the Wild, honestly, was the breaking of the weapons. That's like really the main thing I didn't like about it, and it's simply because, like,
my frying pan broke.
Yeah, it's like, why? It's like, I would wish it was more in tune with like Monster Hunter, where it gets dull, so like it starts doing so little damage that you need to just take the time to sharpen it, and then you can go back at it and use it again. I would have much rather gone that route and then had them restrict your inventory a little bit in terms of weaponry, just to make you strategize, okay, well, what weapons am I going to carry with me, and then I need to make sure I can keep them sharp, as opposed to be like, okay, well, I better not use this weapon ever or it'll break, and then I'll have to go try and find another one. That's like my only.
See, I'm okay with you not liking that, because it's a new thing that they added, so it's kind of cool to hear people be like, "Oh, I love this," or "I don't." It's like at least they're doing something new, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I totally can understand and appreciate that too. It's like you have to challenge yourself when making these things. You have to expand and try new things. It's both a blessing and a curse, because sometimes it backfires so hard in your face that it cripples your company.
Yeah. The only thing, like, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with you about the breaking of the weapons, but one thing that does bug me is that the Master Sword runs out of energy. It's like, really? Evil's Bane is tired.
Well, that's the worst part about that, and that's part of why I kind of wish they hadn't gone that route, is because then it would make more sense in this respect too. With the Master Sword, they no longer, like, they wouldn't have been able to lock the non-breakable format of the Master Sword behind DLC, and that was kind of crappy.
What? Like,
so
I unfortunately haven't played any of Breath of the Wild yet.
So the way Breath of the Wild's Master Sword works is, once you get it, it has a durability like the other weapons in the game, but instead of breaking, it just becomes unusable because the energy has, quote, worn out and it needs to recharge. But there is a DLC they put out, I think it was $25, that if you complete it, the Master Sword is permanently fully charged, which is a load of crap if that's still accurate.
Don't think that's correct, because I got the season pass. I think the DLC had like a trial you could do, and it doubled the Master Sword's power, but it didn't just remove the fatigue that it can get. I could be wrong. But in any case,
that's what I had heard initially.
Yeah.
But I haven't done any of that, so I honestly don't know.
So here's
the trials?
Go ahead.
I was just asking if you actually got through all the trials or not.
I haven't done all the DLC, but I did go through the trial that strengthens the Master Sword. So it like standard does like 30 damage, and then when you finish the trial, it's like 60. And I think it like the longevity of the sword's power is a thing. Like it doesn't get what's it called? Not destroyed, but like you can use it longer before it peters out.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, what I'm reading on this guide for it is there are a total of 51 trials. If Link survives until the end, the Sword Sage will enhance the Master Sword with the power to stay fully charged, dealing 60 damage at all times instead of just.
Yeah, because the thing is with the standard, when you get the Master Sword, it only does 30 damage. But then when you're fighting against, I think it's Guardians, like the
Guardians,
then it goes up to 60. But like once you do the trials, it's just 60 all the time.
Interesting. That's a weird way of them having worded everything then.
Yeah, but like I don't have the time to replace the words in this meme with something relevant to Legend of Zelda. But just before I hit the picture upload, basically, I'm the kid and the Master Sword is the dog. Because it's like, look, I'm fighting Ganon. I need you to cooperate. And the sword's just like, nope, use your frying pan.
Well, I'm glad at least there's a correction to that, because I was very misinformed then, if that's the case.
I almost wish that was true, though, because I would love to have a sword that didn't bust on me. It'd be great.
Yeah. So, but I mean, either way, it's just one of those things where I don't like durability systems in everything. I'm very selective.
Gotcha.
So, and in that one, it seemed like every time I blinked, my weapon blew up in my face, and then I'd have to run off and pick up a stick.
Mm-hmm. At least your clothes didn't have durability.
Oh God, no! Just hush you. If they put that in the sequel, I blame you.
Oh no! Look at now. Looks like my pants durability just went away.
My pants are tired. Give them a minute.
So it just stops you in place. It's like, why can't I move my legs? My denim's tired. I don't want to be flexible right now. All right, Liz, how about you?
Well, I feel like in the vein of what everybody else has said, it would have to be something that's long, and potentially open-ended with or at least with the ability to explore a ton.
Depends.
So,
I mean, it could be just one small game that you just love playing over and over and over and over.
No, because I feel like
Like
1 year
Flappy Bird.
with any game, no matter how much I love the game, would get really stale.
It's true. It's you got to be really careful with like this kind of a thought experiment, really, because I mean we could transition this into an actual practice as opposed to a thought. And
No.
I guarantee you that in most cases, with a lot of us, we'd be burnt out within the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is even a tough one because I personally I move on from things very quickly, and so I can cycle through a lot of different things in the course of a year. And if I picked a game that I can beat, even if it's like a game that I can beat in 20 to 40 hours, it doesn't matter how much I love it, I want to love it by the end still. So that's why I wouldn't pick something like that. So I think that my options would be, even if it has an endpoint, something big. So one of my choices is Persona 5, because I've played maybe 6 hours of it and am already intimidated by the size of it.
Honestly, I've picked that game up like 2 or 3 times myself, and yeah, it's like I am terrified to do very much in it because it's like I'm never gonna get through this thing. I know it's a 500-hour RPG.
Yeah, and so part of me is like, should I restart? Because I started playing it 6 months ago, and so it was right after. Okay, it was longer than 6 months actually. It was right after I finished putting 280 hours into Persona 4, and then I tried to start 5, and 5 is fantastic, but I had just put 280 hours into Persona 4 and was a little bit persona'd out. So part of me is even should I restart and go through with a guide just so I just so I can try and do as much as possible. Because like Persona 4, my first playthrough, 110 hours, and I missed a ton of stuff. There was stuff that I didn't even know, and there were like connections that you can make that, because I didn't take any of the jobs, I didn't realize that, you know, half of the arcana is in the jobs you take, or not half, but several of the arcana are in jobs that you take. Or like you can talk to one girl's brother, but when you talk to him the first time, he's just like, he doesn't want to talk to you. So I never talked to him again. He's another arcana. And so, you know, like I would want to go through with a guide, especially because, yeah, Persona 5 is going to be several hundred hours in. So that would be one of them, because I would love to just be able to hunker down with it and just play the shit out of it. I will one day. But one of my other options is a game that I actually just bought today. I've had my eye on it for a while, and we all know the development cycle didn't go too great for it. But it's been patched to hell. It's been revamped and reworked, and now it's got tons of amazing reviews and hundreds of potential hours you can put into it. And I think I'd go with No Man's Sky.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge game. My sister's boyfriend has put in 143 hours into it, and he hasn't even touched like finishing everything. And now that, you know, like the developer was like a single guy with like a bare bones team, I think. And like, yeah, of course, you know, of course it's going to be some troubled development and it's going to have some issues, but that guy has dedicated himself to making it so much better and more playable. And there's a new DLC out where you can actually train one of the animals. Yes, I'm going to have a dinosaur as a pet. So I think those would be my two options. And I don't know which one I would pick. I really don't. I was almost going to say Journey to the Savage Planet, because I just started that one. It just came out January 28th. But it definitely feels like something that is going to have an end point, which is also why I didn't say Borderlands, because I put like 106 hours or something into Borderlands 2, and I have like half of a DLC left to finish. And I don't want to hit 100 hours and then restart Borderlands 2, you know? And I feel like Journey to the Savage Planet would be in a similar vein as that. So I would want something that, you know, is fun and can be peaceful if you want it to be, can have action if you want it to be. Like, it seems a very multi-genre in a lot of different ways. So I think with how far it's come, No Man's Sky would be my other option. And that's also nice because I've literally never played it before, but it has incredible reviews. It's got a lot of stuff that I love, and I feel like I could easily sink a year worth of content into it.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, that's I've heard a lot of great things about it. I haven't played it either, but I know like the general consensus is like, oh wow, they've listened to people's critiques of it, and they've definitely done a lot with the game since its release.
Yeah, it's on a pretty good sale right now on Green Man Gaming, which is why I got it. I think it's like, I want to say it's like $24 from $60. And so I grabbed that and another smaller game, more of like a platformer style game called Eternal Hope. Very cute, very, very like if Limbo was in color.
So I linked everyone to the How Long to Beat set up for Persona 5, and on the PS4 the rough breakdown for the longest, at least the most leisurely playthrough, was 405 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, that could go.
And like I feel like that might be what pushes Persona 5 down my list, is because like it only took me about 2.5 months, maybe. I think it might actually have only taken me about 7 weeks to sink 280 hours into Persona 4.
Yeah, you definitely have to temper yourself, and like
I had never played a Persona game before. I had never touched the Persona series before, and I had zero chill with this game. I played it. I mean, I think I put my first 110 hours into it, I think, in the first 3 weeks that I played it. And I was playing it like, don't tell my job, but because I work from home, and that game, you progress the talking however you want to. I was playing between, you know, busy work at work. I was playing after work. I was playing on the weekends, and like I easily dropped my first playthrough about 110 hours. I dropped in about 3 weeks. Took a little teeny break, and then was like, I want to try and platinum this.
Yeah,
And
the game is so good though. Persona 4.
yeah, it was so good. It was so fun. And even though I got screwed out of several achievements because I missed that one level 10 social link, when I finished it, I was like, I have to go play something else, because I was ready to just restart it, but I was like, I have to go play something else.
This is dangerous. Yeah.
This is and then I was like, maybe me in like 3 or 4 years will come back to this, drop another 100 some odd hours into it. But thankfully, a lot of the things that you have to grind for, like various like to get Margaret's social links, you have to bring her different personas that are fused in a way that gives them certain abilities.
Okay.
And so I have all of those saved in my persona thing. So all I have to do is my persona decks. I don't remember what they call it, but
compendium or something.
Yeah, so they so all I have to do is go back and purchase them. Yeah, I just have to go back and purchase them and then give them to Margaret. So that's like already laid out for me. And there's a few of them that are kind of like that, where like once I go back, I won't have too much difficulty with some of them, but I really do have to work my timing on certain things. So anyway, that was a little tangential. I think No Man's Sky would probably be the one that I would go for.
I completely understand that. Look at those. Look at that pictures.
Look at them.
Look at them there pictures.
Is like the
So
backpack
pretty.
thing like an addition? A new thing?
Ah.
I don't know. For some reason, I got like a Death Stranding thing going. Vibe.
Dude, I could probably have easily dropped a few hundred more hours into Death Stranding.
I have not started it yet because I'm afraid of it.
It's very hit or miss. I don't feel like there's a neutral ground where you're like, it's okay. I feel like you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
Well, like,
or even if you don't hate it, it's gonna be something like, if you err on that side of it, it is gonna kind of be it is gonna kind of be something that is like, it's not really my thing. But like, I don't know. I loved it. It does some things that I have never like experienced in a video game, and like, I don't know, in the first few hours I was moved.
so
I
gotta
love
say, with Death Stranding, the reason why you may have experienced things in that game that you have not experienced in others is because Kojima openly stated that his goal with Death Stranding was to innovate on the same level that he did with Metal Gear Solid 1, or the first Metal Gear on the MSX.
Yeah, and not being tethered,
a new genre.
Yeah, and not being tethered to Konami, like, is I think one of the best things that could have happened to Kojima is just like, I mean, yes, he lost the Metal Gear rights, I believe, but like, this Death Stranding just has so many things in it that I've never seen done before, and I fell in love with it. I put a lot of time into it. My sister's boyfriend, he's struggling. Like, he wants to like it. He's heard me talk about it. He's heard one of his coworkers talk about it, and we love it. But he is struggling. And there was one point when he like called me and just said, "Why should I keep going with this? Like, convince me to keep going." And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just, to me, it was a very cathartic experience. There's so much beauty in that game, and the world is generally empty, but there was something about it that felt very peaceful, and like, you know, being attacked aside, but you can usually see anything that's gonna hurt you. You can see coming, like, you know, oh, there's a pack of bandits over there, but if I go this way, or if I crouch or whatever, I can avoid them. And oh, there's the really scary Lovecraftian things, but I can either go around this area or I can sneak through it. And I don't know. It was
grab your hands.
Yeah, it means, like, it's such a beautiful game to me, and and there was like this one moment when you leave the city to go do a mission or do like a job or whatever, and the camera, as you start, you know, I set up and started trekking through the through the world, and was like, here we go, Sam. And then the camera just pulled back so you could see him in the world and started playing like the most calming, but not like to put you to sleep sort of music, but it's like licensed music. Like it's not just his game soundtrack. He actually got bands to do music for it. And it was this, I don't know, this moment that happened where it pulled back and it started playing the music, and the song was just a beautiful accompaniment to the world that I was like in awe for a moment. I just had this moment of being like, oh my God, this hit me in a way that I hadn't expected. Anyway, I loved Death Stranding, and I could talk a lot about it, but we're off topic now. That's what happens when you let me just ramble.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's surprisingly a bunch of different games that a lot of people I've seen sink tons and tons, like years worth of hours into that we didn't even touch on this.
Yeah.
And they all have, but it's all to each their own on that one, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got different tastes, so I mean, it's understandable that everyone's going to come up with a different title that they would be willing to literally dedicate a whole year of their free time to playing. So
yeah,
Minecraft for some people,
and that would be the thing I think is also not only like we also have to remember that it's not like we have to play this game every single day. It really is in our spare time. So there's like I can still read books, and I can still play on my phone, not games, obviously. That's not part of the deal. Yeah.
The idea
still play online, watch YouTube. Like my gaming is not the forefront of my like leisure time. It comes in waves, I guess. But yeah, like we have other things we can do too. So if I put 400 hours into No Man's Sky and I'm like, I need a break, maybe I can't play anything else, but I've got other things I can do.
Right. The idea is just that if you wanted to play a game, it would have to be this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the whole concept of this thought experiment, if you will. But I think we can all agree that Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realm is probably the ones that we'd want to play, because that has 2,460 hours of playtime to finish it.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm out. You ever think of that?
If you're a completionist, we'll see you in 5,000 hours.
I am not.
Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah. Oh, the main campaign and extras, 49 hours. If you're a completionist, 4,871.
Jesus.
Oh my God, this is actually on Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It's a point-and-click adventure by its description. There is no way. It's even called Idle. This is totally just like a keep, just press A forever button.
Yeah, I'm out.
It even says a clicker game in the description afterwards. It's like, which one are you? It can't be both.
I said I'm out.
It'd be a good game to play.
Yeah,
Lots
how
of
many mice are we going to destroy trying to complete? Oh, get out of here.
No, because you see, that's only like an 8-hour game.
Yeah, so just start it over.
Yeah.
I don't want to Well, it's like 8 hours, but if you crash, you can in real time get towed back to the beginning.
Yeah,
and there you go.
Again.
Yeah, there you go. You just lots and lots of time. Turn on your radio and virtual road trip, since we can't all real road trip right now. Virtual road trip back to...
Yeah, the game has a subtle pull to one side, and if you get caught in a ditch, it will pull you all the way back to the beginning. So then you have to start over. And if I remember right, I think this Desert Bus, I want to say this was this the Penn and Teller game?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, so this is actually this is a game made by Penn and Teller.
I think it actually has I think it's like a cartridge that has like 4 or 5 games on it total. This is just one of them.
Oh, this is a Sega CD.
Oh, well then, I mean, either way, I think it has like 4 or 5 other games on it.
It might, yeah. Oh gosh, I didn't realize it had a day-night cycle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a long play? I'd like to watch a
It-
long play of
It's a
this.
complete
It's a
playthrough,
full
yeah.
playthrough. They get all the way to the end. Oh no, there's a bug on the windshield. What are you gonna do?
No, I'd like a speed run of this.
Well, here, so there's an option in YouTube now under the settings for
Yeah,
playback
go
speed,
fast.
For
Make
Make
playback
it go fast.
Gotta go fast. 2x speed. Oh god, that
Where's
looks horrible.
Where's my 132 times speed?
Oh, you're so specific.
Not fast enough.
No, go down to 0.25. We'll be done in what? 24 hours?
Oh my god, it literally is just back to the side, back to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, this is
It'd
awful.
be hilarious if they did like a 4K remaster of this game.
So I'm
You
not gonna
know,
lie,
limited run games would not be above doing this.
I would if someone did a full remake of this and did it like the trucker simulator games and stuff where they had things happening around you and stuff. Like that would actually be really interesting.
You cannot not do that. That's not the heart of this game. The heart of this game is the bus wheel strays to one side.
Yes.
That is the soul of this game. All right.
Play this for a year straight.
All right.
No.
No. But yeah, are we?
I think we're about wrapped up here. Very interesting takes from some of us. I think the most interesting one was, for me, the most interesting one to hear about was XCOM, because I didn't even think about the Steam Workshop.
Yeah.
That kind of threw me for a loop, so... Yeah.
Not like I haven't restarted that game repeatedly because of that workshop. No.
Never.
Never.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this weird little look into what we would play for a year straight. We're not insane, at least not yet. So yeah, thanks for watching. Be sure to check back next month for our next video, where we'll have another spin at the wheel.
I love it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.